Jen Walker is a visually impaired mother of 2 and lives in Ohio with her family.
Every year when I show my students my cane, I always think that they're gonna just be so shocked by it and confused, and I'll get it out and they're just kind of like, okay, so you use that to get around, when's lunch? And I always think I wish adults could be like that too. Just here's what I use, this is why, and moving on.
Jen's using her cane while walking on the sidewalk with her family.
If I go like this, I don't see my hands. I don't see my hands, and then right here I can see them.
Using her hands, Jen shows us how her remaining vision is very centralized. Pulling their kids in a red wagon, Jen and her husband walk towards the playground. Jenny Schischler is a visually impaired mother of 3 living in Arkansas.
My girls don't necessarily know about my visual impairment. It doesn't impact their daily lives necessarily. I have to grab Daddy and hang on to James, or I have to watch out for them more closely because they're low to the ground and under my feet. So tripping over them sometimes, or accidentally hitting them in the face when I turn around. Different things like that, it impacts them in small ways.
Jenny Schischler and her husband walk with their 3 daughters in their neighborhood. She still has enough vision to not have to use a cane.
First thing I did was go on Foundation Fighting Blindness, type in retinitis pigmentosa, and it did say by 40, most people are legally blind. And I remember that was really hard for me, thinking okay, I'm 28, I'm in the middle of my career, I just had a baby. Couldn't happen at a worse time.
Jenny Schischler still has enough vision to be able to drive.
I'm supposed to get my driver's license renewed. I'm nervous about it. And again, we've been monitoring my ability to drive and the safeness of that, but I know it's the next thing. So preparing for the next thing.
She no longer drives at night.
You can still be a great mom and you can't drive. It's not. But again, you take those one step at a time and you go, we're gonna have to plate this. This is gonna have to be tabled. And then we're gonna move on from this and still be a mom. And you can still do it. You can still work. You can have a cane.
A shot from above shows Jen Walker and her family making their way into the park.
Throughout the years, I received postcards in the mail to go to Foundation Fighting Blindness Columbus chapter events, and I kept saying, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And then once the vision got bad enough, I had said okay, let's go to one of these. There's no turning back, there's no denying it anymore.
Jen Walker poses with a group of people at the Foundation Fighting Blindness Visions Conference.
I met other people with RP for the first time ever, and that was really cool. And it was really neat to see a room full of 100 or so people that were there to support a disease that I had, and I didn't even know these people, and there were so many there.
You can give them hope, and you can give them encouragement, and you can give them fellowship and community, and other people who are, this is not light stuff. This is hard stuff to walk through. It's incredibly hard. So making the connection, getting the resources, connecting with the FFB, getting the genetic test done, it's inching them toward this place of hope and not a place of just discouragement or defeat or feeling like they're alone.
Jen Walker and her family posed for a photo at a Foundation Fighting Blindness event.
One of the girls that I talked to, her name was Laura, and she had just been diagnosed with RP, and she was very upset because it's such a devastating diagnosis to get, and she was about to get married, and she felt a lot better seeing me and that I had children and was still working full-time. So I got to be kind of an inspiration to someone else in the chapter. And then I also got to meet some other people that had RP that were older, closer to retirement, and I saw that they were still doing well and getting around and living a full life. So it was neat to see that age span across different people with RP.
Jenny Schischler and her family walk along the field, calling out to the horses.
My hope is that we're going to cure this before it impacts the lives of my daughters. I have the gene and it's dominant, and despite my husband not having it, each of our children, because of my particular, I give 50% of the genetic makeup to my kids, each of them has a 50% chance.
As the horses make their way over, Jenny's daughters shake the bag of carrots through the fence.
I feel like I have this arsenal of hope in knowing about the research and knowing about the community and connecting them. They're not going to go through any time of not knowing what to do or where to go because their mama is in the middle of it, making sure that we're paving the way for it to be an easier journey for them to take than my initial journey with RP.
While holding her cane, Jen Walker pushes her daughter on the swing set.
We've got some really promising clinical trials in people that are going on, as well as one FDA-approved treatment for a form of RP.
If the therapy comes into play, let's say in the next 5 or 10 years, and I'm able to preserve central vision, there's so much hope in knowing you can do so many things if you have central vision.
A lot of people that I meet, I say, go to the Foundation Fighting Blindness website, and if you feel helpless or hopeless, that is going to be a place where you can look up all the clinical trials that are going on. Don't quit your job, don't quit your dreams. You can overcome that. And it's going to start by connecting to other people with that disease that you have. And the place that I was able to connect with other people was through the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Visit fightingblindness.org to learn how you can help us shed a light on treatments for blindness.